Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure this is not new to anybody, but one of the things that I hate about die cutting is waste. And so I've been doing a fair amount of it lately, and this shows you what I'm talking about. When I die cut this out, it ends up being quite a bit of waste. Now, I could fussy cut out, you know, around these butterflies. Needless to say, this is not exactly a fun chore. But even then, I'm still going to end up with some waste. And honestly, the whole point of a die cutting machine is to not have to do this all the time. See, now I have a cute butterfly, but it's the outline of the butterfly, not the butterfly. I still end up with waste. So what I wanted to do was to give you some ideas on how to cut some of these dies and end up not having waste. These are just some invitation size cards that I have made out of cardstock, and I thought I would show you some of the ways to think about the pieces you're going to cut from before you start die cutting. Now this is like a confetti die, and I mean there's a lot of ways to that if you don't think about it ahead of time. This is perfect to lay over the top of, I'm just looking for one that I really like, a printed cardstock. Now it gives me enough room to put a little sentiment down here at the bottom, and that card is done. So if I think about this and I cut my piece that I'm going to cut from, let me get it here. This is the piece I'm going to cut from. It is the same exact size as the front of my card. So that when I center it on this piece, I end up with this nice little piece that fits on a card front. And I can just glue this to my card front. It does take a while to glue, sorry. And I didn't think to get out any little words, but I think I have some washi tape words, so I will grab some here real quick. Yes, I do. Okay, it should have an end. Okay, so it says, friends cherish forevermore, And I'm just going to cut it so that it looks right. We're going to put a little drop of glue on it because, you know, washi tape never stays down. And we have a cute little finished card with our scrap. Okay. Now, how about when we have... Oh, wait, just a minute. I got to get that back in there. When we have the little frame piece, it's left over. Okay? Well, think about it as a frame instead of... instead of a piece of scrap, think about it as a frame. And, oh, that one is just the wrong color. We may need a third butterfly in there. And now we have another cute little card. And that was a scrap from this piece. So by cutting them before you die cut, by thinking about them as card pieces or tag pieces ahead of time, then you have more options to use your scrap. Okay, now that is just an example of one of the pieces that makes this confetti die and makes it very much the same size as a card. But what about our loose dies, like these loose butterfly dies? Let me get these three little guys glued down because, you know, we want to have a finished card. And who can't use a little note card here and there? Now, if you don't like making cards, that is all right. You could do the same kind of thing on an art journal page. Think about your pages and what size they are and make your scrap to fit your page. So that's two cards. But now, like I said, we have these loose dies. Okay? When we use them and we just try very hard to punch, oops, let's put the pin back in the glue, to punch out just as many as we can on a piece, we end up with this scrap. But if we think about the scrap ahead of time and cut it so that it fits a piece of card or a tag or something like that, and then sort of artistically lay the dies on it instead of just sticking it on there, then we end up with, again, another easy and quick card. It takes more time to glue it than it does to think it up. And basically, an invitation size card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when it's folded. it's half a sheet of cardstock or half a sheet of paper. Okay, let's find some little words to put on this one. Oh, I like this. It says, "Sweet Memories, Treasure Family." It's crooked. Crooked. Oh, I'm going to just put a couple of little butterflies on here because, you know, we need just a little bit more of a focal point. Now, how about that? That one, you might want to ink around the edges. But by thinking about the size, putting the butterflies on there artistically, we end up with another card front. The other option is to take our pieces. This is another piece I cut with the same size card front, and we can put it over a printed card, which is really pretty too. These little butterflies have lots of little pieces that have to get some glue around them. Not a lot, just a little bit. And I don't know that we're going to put a sentiment on that one. I think what we will do is just add a really pretty lacy butterfly that goes. Let's see what we've got that. I think there's one. Oh, we needed a slightly darker one. There's one. And we have another card. There again, these could be tags instead of cards. I needed a batch of cards, and also I cut a lot of my scrap card stock up into card bases to reduce the amount of scrap card stock I had in my scrap bin. And we have another card. So think about how you cut your pieces out when you're going to work on die cutting. I thought I would show you another one. Where is the... There's the die. This is another die. This is a border die. Okay, so if you have a border die and you cut borders out of it, this border die is probably about the right size just to go across a card. Not quite, but it sits there pretty nice, okay? Well, but think about the scrap, okay? if I tried to just stick a bunch of these on one thing, I would end up with this scrap that's not usable. So if I cut it where it fits into a card front, let's find a good one for that. I end up with a really pretty card front very quickly that I can pop. I usually have to have some kind of a little, we need a little bit of focal point. But see how quick that made that card? Very quick, very easy. And I'm not even going to glue that one. I'm just going to set it aside for a minute and I'll glue it in a minute. Alright, so what if we get too many of these little pieces? These are the little pieces that come off around this. And I have a whole bunch of them. Let's take a card front. And we're just going to glue some of these on there. Okay? Now I have to kind of glue these down because otherwise it just... Now these are all sort of, what shall I say, neutral color pieces. Let's see, we need this one to be the other way. Okay, now isn't that cute? I mean, it's so far it's not done yet. We still have to have some focal points and maybe some words. Let's cut off the excess, which we can add to another card. All right, now let's put on some words. Let's see here. You know, I would really like it if washi would just stay where it belongs when you put it down. I think that one is really pretty on there. Very subtle and understated and just real pretty. And maybe a little inking around the edge. We'll finish that one up. And we finished. So there's so many things you can do with your little bits of scraps if you think about your scraps ahead of time. And don't let them pile up. Let's see. This one, okay, I have another. I laid this one out ahead of time because I'm going to put this like that. What did I decide? Okay, yeah. Sorry, corner rounder. Oh, come on. But just by laying out your butterflies or your birds or whatever you're die cutting, by laying them out in a more artistic way on your paper, you end up with something that is much more. Okay, I don't know why I chose that one because it's just it's the same. We have to have something that's a little bit different, and we'll just grab a black one. Let's glue that one down because it needs some words on it. So I don't want this video to get too long, so I am just going to leave you with that. This is, I mean, yes, we can always use the die cuts. There's always a page which we can put the die cuts on, and well, that's kind of ugly, but that's the piece we're cutting out, and we have that to do with what we want, make tags, whatever. But think about your scrap, the background, and treat it like pieces that are usable to create your cards or your tags. Or, I mean, this could have been tags, or journal spots, or any of those kinds of things. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. That was my goal. I hope that this gave you a little bit of ways to think about some other possibilities. And I am going to read you a quote from my 1001 Ways to Creativity, and probably glue up a few more cards and then clean up this mess. Put your ear close to your soul and listen to its whispers. Oh, what a wonderful quote. Okay, guys, go have fun. Make some art. Bye-bye.